Hi everyone, my name is Ali Akal. I'm from the American University of Beirut in Lebanon.
Hello, and I'm Tamara Lutfi from McMaster and 3IE.
She's also Lebanese. So we are here to welcome you to the closing plenary of the Global Evidence Summit 2024.
Okay. All right, so today's theme is from global evidence to local impact, and we'll start with, there we go. We'll start with Alric Ruether. Alric is the head of international, sorry, this is going too fast for me. We'll fix it. There we go. Is the head of international affairs at the Institute for Quality and Efficiency in Healthcare. Dr. Alric is also the chair of International Network for Agencies for HTA. He undertook the study of human medicine in Budapest, Munich, and Alicante, and has trained in internal medicine and hematology oncology in Munich and Freiburg, Germany. And just to say that Alric is with Cochrane Evidence-Based Medicine and HTA for more than 25 years now. Welcome, Alric.
Thank you so much. I hope I can use this mic, because I hate to stand behind a Lettner. This is the one thing, and please, for the AI, could you open a little bit the monitor, because it's tricky for us to understand what we are talking about. Thanks. And thanks for the introduction. Special thanks, and that as this is the last session, I really take the freedom to have one word about the GES here. The organization was tremendous, I must say, and I have some experience with some organizational issues in big congresses. About lots of fun and lots of possibilities to interact and to mingle and to listen to something. Great thanks to Miroslav and his team, really. Second point, I'm so happy having been invited into Grandma's Garden of Evidence, seeing all of you trying to plant the things and to harvest all the fruits and all the vegetables and everything what you can get, even if there had been the one or the other crumpled potato in between. Yeah. On the other hand, I also saw that is quite interesting, that we deal with questions which we already asked 25 years ago. We give them now some other names. So there is now this so-called evidence to decision framework, very important, and lots of different ways of use the word ecosystem. But we're dealing with the same thing. There you see, maintaining a garden, even if it's flowering, is a lot of work, and you have to do the same all the time again. I'm a little, well, I don't know why, but in the garden also, I know it's in a very far corner, there's a big, very nice tree. This is the tree of HTA. And I wonder why it was not so visited so very well. So I heard just a little bit of HTA, especially here, in this surrounding where there must be a lot of interactions. So perhaps I can help a little bit and see whether I can go now with my presentation here with the global need for evidence in health technology assessment. How do they align? And what I want to do is now, as I say, I don't know how far, and if you've ever seen the tree of HTA, I will start with, my disclosures, of course, but no financial things. With a slide I created almost 30 years ago to teach my students in health technology assessment, I think it's always important just to start from the ground. So what is the evidence about? And what are we thinking about? We mostly think that it's the direct evidence what we need for treat the patient, as you can see here, with the people who treat them in some kind of hospital. And that is the most idea, direct. Yeah? Well, but if you go to with healthcare, there are more around. There are the politicians. They have some needs, especially if you see the physicians, the payers, insurance, the hospitals. We have our good friends from industry. We have researchers. And of course, don't forget, we have all of you. And all of us, we have different requirements for the healthcare system. We need different kind of evidence. And this has to be taken care of. So what is HTA about? So here now I give you a definition, of course. The first one is the definition from the European network. And you see, multidisciplinary process summarizes information about medical, social, economic, and ethical issues, systematic, transparent, unbiased, robust, inform, patient-focused. Okay, but where's evidence? You don't see evidence, you see inform. And now I give you the definition. which is, has been published some years ago and jointly by the big societies and networks from HTA, which also said this is a multidisciplinary process that uses explicit methods to determine the value of hard-edge technology at different points in its life cycle. It is determine the value. They don't focus directly, and they did not use the word evidence here, because they thought it might narrow too much. So it is determine the value of health technology assessment, but of course there is HTA and there is evidence in it. So from theory, let's go to the reality. What do we have here? This is the FPR patient's weight indicator. FPR is the umbrella organization of the pharmaceutical industry in Europe. And the weight indicator is waiting for access to innovative technologies that they do every year on drugs. This is a very good paper in this way, and you see here the total availability by approval year, the numbers of medicines available to patients in Europe. You see, funnily, well, Germany is doing very well. The Czech Republic is also good, doing quite okay, but most of the others, they do not have access to all the drugs which are there and which are innovative and might have a good evidence. Why is that so? I would say main point is evidence in different way. 3 things. First, did you get the evidence you need? Second, did you ask for the evidence you need? We have different healthcare systems, we have different standard therapies, we need different PICOs. And third, are you capable at least to formulate a PICO or to assess the evidence if you can get it? So these are the 3 main points, I might say. So what is going to happen if you see this? This is also a publication shortly done by a group of high-level journalists who made long research to detect and decover all the negotiations on prices. And here you see this prices for cystic fibrosis drugs, where there's a high evidence that's a prolonged lifetime, very high evidence. And you see, for a 1-year treatment for 1 patient in France, you pay 71,000 euro, and in the Czech Republic, you pay the double. Why is that so? Or why cannot we do anything against it? The argument that there are 4,000 patients in France and 300 in Czech Republic, it's for me not an argument for this kind of price. Okay. So, what is needed? In my opinion, I'll do this very easy, that are the 2 main commonplaces, the 2 E. The first, evidence. Okay, David Sackett, evidence-based medicine, the best available evidence. With a little cautious for us HTA, because we say best available, yes, but the meaning, what David said, and I'm very happy because I met him in person in my further time, so a really nice man, very good, very brave. He said best available in the moment. You are standing in front of the patient, and the only thing what you have got is a book in your pocket. Use it. That's the best available evidence. And I do not want to get it wrong. We need the evidence, and not the one which is in the moment here. We need the hidden one. We need the unpublished trials. We need the confidential trials. Yeah? We do not want to use it, but we want to see it. Yeah? We want to get it. Yeah? This is the evidence. The second E is the capability to identify, analyze, and transfer. Yeah? Tell the decision maker what is going on. And I see this, the same question, one of the same questions which we dealt with 30 years ago, is also here, how to bring it to the decision maker that he or she is going to understand. So, well, giving some examples how we try to do it. First is the European HTA regulation. Over 20 years, we tried in Europe to get something together. Over 20 years. It is so difficult to get different healthcare systems, different cultures, different thoughts, even different scientists who think we are scientists, we all are the same, you're not. Yeah, it's really tricky. So what happened? There's 27 member states. They said now legally, it starts in 25 with oncological drugs. We make joint clinical assessment. We start with just the clinical dimensions. We get a basis, common methodology. All the clinical assessment must be taken into account in the national HTA procedures. That is a law. Value judgments, conclusions, and added value remain in the national responsibility. Okay, everybody is able to cook his own soup. And the competence for pricing and reimbursements remains unattached. What about the evidence? A kind of more of the global thing over all the 27 member states. There is a dossier, and it is a mandatory mechanism for submitting data. It is not the high level at everything, so they fight with confidential issues in the industry and whatsoever, but at least it's a start. Yeah? And in the end, the data, what is already submitted by manufacturers at EU level, may not be requested again at national level. So you have some center which is transparent, and transparent in between the countries. And what about the question, the PICO, the National Standardized Therapy? Well, there's also a trick. Let's try to make a PICO survey. And that's how it worked. We have the compound, and then we make a survey about national requirements and formulate the PICOs out of it. And you see for Czech there's PICO A, for France PICO B, and Germany is interested in PICO A and B. So we get a dossier of the manufacturer, give us the material for these PICOs. You make the joint clinical assessment. 2 or 3 of the 70 member state HTA organizations are doing it, and the other know what is in it, so they can trust it and they can use it without doing it again. And so we put in our national HTA the PICO A for the Czech and the PICO B for the French, I think, and PICO A and C for the German. You may say that doesn't ever work, there are always 27 PICOs. That's wrong. We did mock PICO and we started with 16. And we found out that many members they do not know how to prepare and to work with PICOs. But at the moment, after some mock, which we are doing more until it's really starting, we are between, let's say, depending on the topic, between 6 and 9. This is manageable, I must say. Example EU for using and getting evidence. So what about HTA and international HTA and the strength of international activities? There is more around as you think. There are many networks. There are societies. There are networks which are just national. There are networks globally. There are networks continentally. And there are one of the new ones just to get to know in the so-called Auskanak, Australia, Canada, UK, and others, where just big agencies get together to say that we need to share evidence, we need also to share the methodology. The newest thing what they made is something about RVD, so have a look and this will get informed nicely. I will give you some short interaction in my last minutes, short knowledge about these kind of networks. First, INAHTA, where I'm happily the chair at the moment, the International Network of Agencies for Health Technology Assessment. It's the eldest network which we have at the moment. It is the only really global, and it is the 53 agencies around the globe, public agencies for HTA. They have to be direct connected to the government, and they have to produce and publish and deliver their reports to all of the members. So these membership agencies support health system decision-making that affects over 1 billion people in 33 countries and are fully independent, no other money, I must say. So they do a lot. They have lots of position statements. They make accreditation of capacity building things, of courses. They support their members, and they have, of course, sharing global data, the HTA database, for sharing all their reports. They have this listserv, which is used very, very heavily in between. And at the moment, what I can tell you that we are thinking about to work on expert networks, so that those who do not have a biostatistician who is doing the high-level whatsoever meta-analysis, they can go in future to an expert network and ask for help, hopefully. And, of course, partnerships, WHO, GIN, hello GIN folks, HCI, EHS, and others. The society. The other one, the one was just for the agencies. This is the society for everybody, yeah? Where HTA, so also industry people and academics and whatsoever, they are very broad, also worldwide, and they focus a lot on the scientific development and especially capacity building. Very interesting, have a look. Or continental-wide. Here I have the example Redezza for the Americans. Of course, here we have a problem. We have good, sophisticated HTA, like Brazil. We have others where they're just on the start. The most important thing for them is not preparing own thing. It's trusting others and adapting HTA reports, so using global evidence. So there is something going on everywhere, and we need to stick together, not just in HTA, in the whole garden of evidence. So, global evidence in HTA, how can this be achieved? I tell you, we need to trust each other. We need to trust each other. We need reliable assessment report, guideline, evidence. It doesn't, the name is ecosystem, what you want. Standardize, thoroughly develop methodology and SOP, that we know what we get. Agreed criteria, transparent process, and please understandable. And second, we have reliable data. Please, we need it all. And even if it's confidential, we need to find a process to have a look at. And then it should be accessible. We do not use everything, but we have to have a look at. Yeah? Reliable expertise, expert networks, what I talked about, and good capacity building. And in the end, reliable integration, but guarantee of independency. So stakeholder information and also stakeholder integration. Patient, everybody, even our friends of industry, of course. But you have to know why and must be transparent and open. So far, I think we should trust each other and we should mingle a little bit more between all the evidence, HTA and whatsoever, because I think this big garden is perfect and we should sit there, have a nice little drink and talk to each other and see what fruits come out. Thank you.